God communicates with us by way of scalar energy. It's God's preferred tool. God imparts his wisdom, his being, his essence to us by way of scalar energy. It is light, it is pure light. God communicates one-on-one with people. And again, his preferred method of demonstrating his love and his connection is by way of scalar energy. So this all ties in and it's starting to make sense. I think a lot of people are starting to get this. So many people realize how important energy is and how energy really is that life force of the universe. Well, they're correct. Why? Because God is the life of the universe. And God is again imparting his life to us by way of scalar energy. The powers that be have suppressed this technology. Scalar energy is everywhere. The stars of the universe, our sun produces scalar energy in abundance. It's an infinite supply of energy. Well, why has academia ignored this energy or even further has scoffed at it, has ridiculed just the mere concept of it? Whereas great men like Nicola Tesla, essentially the pioneer of scalar energy, devoted most of his life to this energy and developed instruments that could control scalar energy. He proved the existence of scalar energy by having functioning scalar energy instruments. I have a number of scalar energy instruments. I routinely control this energy. It's as a matter of fact, it's something that is commonplace now to me. That's how proficient I have become with this energy. And it's a shame that even though I'm presenting this to the general public, people still don't realize what I have. They don't realize that scalar energy represents a new way of living. It's not just another invention. Scalar energy will introduce a new technology, a new form of energy that essentially will serve to promote the human race, will indeed benefit everybody. That's the essence of my work. Scalar energy actually moves as a vortex. It's a double helix, and essentially, once in motion, it's spinning. This vortex is constantly spinning. Well, the cause of gravity is scalar energy. To go against the Newtonian notion, gravity is not the attraction between two physical objects. Scalar energy is the underlying cause of gravity. Hence, you can produce an anti-gravity force field, if you will, simply by engineering scalar energy. If you only look at the world through the prism of electromagnetic energy, you can't understand the world. There are two energies. It takes an understanding of both electromagnetic energy as well as scalar energy to really define the world, to really define the universe. Sadly, academia today is focused almost exclusively on electromagnetic energy. Well, again, electromagnetic energy is true and valid, but there's two energies. And you cannot negate scalar energy because scalar energy factors into all walks of life, into all physical activity.
Coming back to your instruments that you have designed, Tom, you talk about developing a treatment process whereby you're able to administer the scalar energy reverse phase angle harmonic of a pathogen. What's that mean?
Yes. In simple terms, everything has a signature. Everything has a scalar energy signature. If I reverse that signature, then I can unbind physical matter. Every germ is held together by scalar energy, whether it's a virus, a bacterium, or a fungus. And I simply instruct that pathogen, that germ, that virus, bacterium, fungus, to break apart, to disassemble its molecular constitution. How do I do that? Scalar energy allows me to do that. Scalar energy allows me to transmute the molecular structure of a germ. In so doing, the germ breaks apart. It's no longer a germ. Some people can shatter a wine glass if they hold it up to their mouth. Why? Well, that person is projecting, by the law of resonance, projecting the same resonating frequency back into a wine glass. As such, that wine glass starts to vibrate and then it falls apart. It shatters. Well, I do the same thing with a germ, but I do it with scalar energy. Obviously, I don't do it with my voice. I'm not a singer. So the point is this. Scalar energy is now proving to be that quintessence that holds together matter. I can easily break apart a pathogen. I can't do that with electricity. So this leads me to deduce that it is scalar energy that holds together matter, not electricity. It is scalar energy that's responsible for the physical geometry for all physical matter in the universe. Everything is held together by way of scalar energy. And electricity and magnetism obviously have other responsible features and characteristics. But electricity and magnetism are inferior to that of scalar energy. It is scalar energy that holds together, that binds, that provides geometry for the universe. We've heard the term order out of chaos. Order out of chaos is simply a function of scalar energy. It is scalar energy that brings order to the universe out of chaos. Scalar energy is responsible for forming all physical forms, period. Hence, if we can control scalar energy, we can control all physical forms. What am I saying? Scalar energy is serving to make us masters of the physical universe.
That's really, really powerful. Tell me, how does geometry fit into all of this?
Everything is geometry. That's a great question. Everything is geometry. The more I study scalar energy and the more I realize that everything entails this geometry. What is scalar energy, first of all? It's a geometric form. What do I mean by that? Scalar energy is a double helix. It looks like our DNA. I'll visit that thought later. Scalar energy is a double helix. Imagine two corkscrews intertwined. That's what scalar energy is. It's a phase-conjugated standing wave. So that in itself is the geometry of the universe. Some people say that scalar energy has the phi ratio incorporated. Phi, 1.618. What is that? Well, that's a transcendent number in which it seems to be embodied in all of scalar energy. Hence, if scalar energy is that creative strength of the universe, then that mathematical value, 1.618, is imparted then throughout the universe. So my point is this. Whether it's our anatomy or the stars or cellular division, we see that mathematical notion, that mathematical value, 1.618, throughout creation. Well, why? Because that's the value imparted by scalar energy.
The thing I like about this, Tom, is that it's simple when you understand it. And the other thing is it's effortless.
Yes, exactly. It's sadly, people, we've been trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and it doesn't work. Well, finally, if you understand scalar energy, the universe is going to start making sense to you. And no fault of people simply did not understand this. But going back to that small cabal of men who have purposely served to suppress scalar energy, shame on them, because they've done it for their own selfish intent. We're gonna get past that. This is a new day. People are educated, and we're just so close, Graham, to introducing scalar energy to the world. We're so close. And once people get it and accept it and embrace it, we're going to take off. And that's the point of my work. I simply want to introduce scalar energy to the world. I want to prove to the world that it exists. Once people see that scalar energy is true, it's real, and it can be engineered, it can be controlled, it's going to take off.
Tom, how does phi, or the golden mean, fit into the concept of the holographic universe?
Everything. Great question. I'm going to try and keep that very simple. Is the universe a hologram? Do we have a holographic universe? Yes. Why do I say that? Scalar energy connects all physical objects. Scalar energy connects all thoughts. What do I mean by that? Well, if I have two people represented by my two fists, I can guarantee you, and I can prove this, at least theoretically, that scalar energy connects those two individuals. Scalar energy not only connects two people, scalar energy connects every atom to every other atom. Scalar energy connects every chemical to every other chemical. Scalar energy connects every star to every other star. We have a concatenated universe. Some people call that quantum entanglement. Some people allude to that as the string theory. All of those are essentially relatively true and accurate. We have a universe that is interconnected by way of scalar energy. If the universe was not interconnected, the universe would be reduced to chaos. In order to have a functioning, coherent universe, you have to have instantaneous communication, and that communication can never be severed. The universe is indeed one unit. I presume we could really highlight the fact that when we say universe, it is indeed one universe. And it's united. There's not a number of universes. There's only one universe. There's no parallel universes. It's superfluous. You don't need 10 or 20 universes. All you need is one universe. An infinite universe is what we have. Why? Because scalar energy is infinite. And that infinite matrix, that, if you will, it's a spider web that covers the entire universe, so to speak. That's what scalar energy is. Scalar energy allows us to connect to everything in the universe. Now, going back to how phi factors into that, well, if every standing wave of scalar energy is a phi or phi principle, again, 1.618 is incorporated into that double helix, then we find that the entire universe is interconnected by way of scalar energy. And the fundament, the mathematical fundament would be phi, phi, 1.618. That's extraordinary. That in itself defines the universe. A concatenated universe, all connected by way of scalar energy, all embodied by that principle of phi, the golden mean, 1.618, and everything thus expressing itself in those terms. That's it. We've missed it. Well, let's not miss it any further. That's the essence of the universe.
If you can disassemble matter, then surely you can assemble matter at the same time.
Yes.
So
where are we going with this, Graham? Eventually, scalar energy will give us the control. Some people call it alchemy, fundamental control over nature. Look at the periodic table. Many of you can remember from high school and college. You have the periodic table, and you start with hydrogen and helium, and you wind up on the other end with plutonium and some rare earth metals. Anyway, every element, every chemical on the periodic table can be assembled by way of scalar energy. What am I saying? Scalar energy can readily assemble hydrogen, helium, phosphorus, iron, gold, or silver. Molecules can be assembled by scalar energy. Any type of molecular state. Minerals, you will be able to assemble diamonds and sapphires by way of scalar energy. Everything has a geometry. Everything is assembled and maintained by way of scalar energy.
So, Tom, let's bring this theory down to the practicality of what you can do for folks out there that are listening to this.
I wanted to prove to mankind that scalar energy is real. Now, it's been a long road, and some people perhaps are dubious, but they should not be. And if they are incredulous, then they should remove that posture. Scalar energy allows me to have physical control over matter. Now, I've developed a technique, and I'm offering this to the general public, a technique whereby I can easily, routinely break apart germs such as viruses, bacteria, protozoan, fungi. It's become almost commonplace with me. It's easy to do. And the reason I can make these statements that it's easy for me to break apart the herpes virus is because I understand the nature of scalar energy and I understand the potential. I have many scalar energy instruments. I've perfected them over the years. And in so doing, scalar energy gives me mastery control now over pathogens, germs in specific. I'm now to the point where I have scalar energy instruments that allow me to have control over physical matter, physical nature. In so doing, my contention is this. I now have the ability, I have the technique, I have the know-how in which I can disassemble any virus, bacterium, fungus, or protozoan, microorganisms, microbes, germs. I have control over that. So what is my statement? If I have control over a germ, a pathogen, I can eradicate that germ, that pathogen, and in so doing, I can eliminate the causative agent of disease. Well, this is going to open up the door for mankind to cure or prevent thousands of pathogenic diseases. Am I able to disassemble the hepatitis virus? Yes. Will this prove to be the cure for hepatitis? Yes. Am I able to disassemble the HIV virus? Yes. Will this prove to be the cure for AIDS? Yes. I'm confident in these statements. And the reason I have such confidence is because God's given me this wisdom and I have fundamental control. Energy is control. Energy is the cause. The effect is nature, is what we see with our physical eyes. Well, scalar energy is non-physical. It is indeed an energy, a first principle. It's a direct expression from God as far as I'm concerned. And this quintessence allows me to control the physical makeup geometry of all nature. Again, I've pinpointed my research to pathogens. And it's high time for the world to take note. I have discovered either the cure or the prevention for all pathogenic disease. Why? Scalar energy allows me to have fundamental control over pathogens. If I can control a pathogen, break it apart, eradicate it, well, the germ is gone. It no longer exists. If the germ doesn't exist, it can't cause disease. Scalar energy, hopefully this year, scalar energy will finally be embraced as to be the cure for all pathogenic disease.
That you kindly offered to treat myself and my family
Yes.
after the last interview, which was probably 6 weeks to 2 months ago. Now,
Sure.
you got me to send you a photograph. That's it.
Right.
How do I feel so good?
I'll explain that. Okay, take a deep breath, everybody. Scalar energy is not electricity. Hence, it has different properties. It observes different laws, different rubrics, if you will. Well, one of the interesting things about scalar energy, everything has scalar energy incorporated. Scalar energy, again, is everywhere, including your photograph. Well, Graham was kind enough to send me a photograph of his family. That photograph allows me to treat Graham remotely with my scalar energy instrument. Now, if two cell phones can communicate with one another remotely without a connection, or a satellite can connect with a TV or a radio and send a signal, there's no physical wire, it's simply an expression, an impulse of energy, a signal's being broadcast from a satellite, I can do the same thing with a scalar energy instrument. So all I need to do is to access people and to treat them with scalar energy, all I need is a photograph of that person. Again, scalar energy allows me to have fundamental control over matter. So with Graham submitting his photograph to me, and I not only treated him but his entire family, I was able to eradicate germs in their bodies as they went about their normal day life. He did not have to observe any practice. There was no restrictions placed on his movements or his activity. He simply went about his normal everyday affairs. And that's the beauty, that's the wonder of scalar energy. I'm able to treat people anywhere in the world. All I need is their photograph. And secondly, it's painless, it's simple. Third, you don't have to change your lifestyle. You don't have to observe any type of diet or take any type of drugs or whatnot. It's simply a means whereby we can easily control the germs in anybody, person or an animal, break apart, eradicate those germs, and the person returns to sound health, germ-free.
So when you say you assemble matter like vitamins, minerals, amino acids in the body, is that a natural process that's going on because we're connecting or feel connected to scalar energy?
No, it's something that I have to actually engineer. And I am able, with my scalar energy instrument, to actually instruct the instrument to assemble inside the human body nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, amino acids, phytochemicals, fatty acids, etc., antioxidants. So to keep it short and simple, scalar energy does what you tell it to do. It's no different than that of a computer, a plane, a car, or an oven. These are instruments, and we control these instruments. We control now with scalar energy an instrument that allows us to control physical matter. A scalar energy instrument allows us to have fundamental control over matter, over physical matter. There's nothing that supersedes that control. I mean, this is the first cause of the universe, scalar energy. And if you control a scalar energy instrument, then you essentially are the master of the physical universe. With my instruments, I am developing mastery over the physical universe. And nobody, with no electromagnetic instrument, with no instrument that I know of, can express the control, can have the control over physical matter that I do. Scalar energy is that doorway to the creative strength of God. Scalar energy allows us to have dominion over nature. So you see now that the nature of scalar energy, you see the great potential in this immediate consideration. Scalar energy will allow us to cure millions of people around the world of potentially thousands of pathogenic diseases, some of them life-threatening diseases.
Tom, you say that scalar energy is the source or power plant behind the energy in the universe.
Yes.
So my question to you is, does scalar energy, is it subject to entropy?
No, that's an excellent question. Entropy is the weakening of a signal. Electricity and magnetism weaken over time and distance. That's the beauty of scalar energy. Scalar energy is perpetual. Scalar energy does not experience any entropy. Some people call that the opposite state, negentropy. Scalar energy does not weaken over time or distance. In other words, if you took a flashlight, your typical flashlight, and you would shine it, well, you might see the beam carry for 20, 30, 40 yards. That's working through the electromagnetic spectrum. Imagine a flashlight that's powered exclusively by scalar energy, and you would shine that flashlight, and that beam of energy would traverse the universe without any attenuation of signal. That's the difference between electricity and scalar energy. That's the difference between a instrument that can work within this matrix, within this dimension. Scalar energy is a never-ending energy. It's perpetual. It never weakens over distance. It's really an eternal divine energy.
You could almost say that there's no decay in God's universe.
Yes, thank you. And that's why I firmly believe that there is a heaven, and in heaven you find scalar energy exclusively. Well, why would I say that? If heaven is real, and it is, and heaven is a place of light, well, what type of light is in heaven? It's not electromagnetic light. Only scalar energy is found in heaven, because electromagnetic light, electricity and magnetism, entail decay, death. It's really resistance. Definitively, you could say it's it's a description of resistance, electricity and magnetism. To the contrary, scalar energy never has any resistance. There's never any decay or death. So a perfect scalar energy environment is heaven. And in a perfect scalar energy environment, there is no death, decay, there's no degradation, there's perfect happiness, perfect coherence, perfect order. We're going to make it to heaven someday. I'm convinced, Graham. And when we go to heaven, we will live in a perfect scalar energy environment. And that's why people in heaven never experience death, disease, or sadness. If you're living in a perfect scalar energy environment, death is impossible. Disease is impossible. Old age and decay is impossible. To be unhappy is impossible in a perfect scalar energy environment.
What I'm seeing, Tom, is that you have been commissioned to bring heaven to earth. We can live this now.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a good point. A scalar energy instrument really is a miniature sun. I have scalar energy instruments. They all behave like a sun. I have a miniature sun in my laboratory. And that miniature sun produces a heaven-like characteristic. And indeed, that's really the mission that I've been given, to bring heaven to earth. Heaven is perfect scalar energy. Well, I'm trying to introduce that perfect scalar energy to the world, which is heavenly energy. It's divine energy. There's nothing like it. The electricity can't hold a candle to scalar energy. There's no comparison whatsoever.
Tom, my understanding is that electromagnetic energy is a waveform. So basically, you bring two waves together.
Yes.
To create the formation of the double helix.
That's right. Let me describe it this way. The sun of our solar system, the stars, are the points of origin for all scalar energy. All energy in the universe originates as scalar energy. The stars of the universe are scalar energy generators. Some people say there's atomic bomb explosions inside the sun. It's false. Inside every star, inside the sun of our solar system, as well as the stars of the universe, it is hollow and it's relatively cool and benign. Why? It's a perfect scalar energy environment. It's that double helix that I described earlier. It's the, if you will, two corkscrews that are intertwined. It's a double helix. That is a standing scalar wave. Now, as energy, scalar energy, starts to propagate out throughout the universe, it degrades into electricity and magnetism. It becomes the electromagnetic spectrum. So what am I saying? Scalar energy converts into electromagnetic energy. And in so doing, we no longer have that double helix. What we have then are two waveforms. They're sinusoidal, usually, and they work in a perpendicular fashion to one another. So if you can picture a sinusoidal wave of electricity and then magnetism working in a perpendicular fashion, it really is, when you look at any electromagnetic energy, it's resistance. It really definitively, you could look at that relationship of electricity and magnetism, and you could say that in itself is the description of entropy. That in itself is decay. That really is a contradiction between those two energies. They are constantly in resistance. And so we have what? A constant death. We have a constant decay. You could eliminate that decay, you could eliminate that impending death, that entropy, by once again taking electricity and magnetism and converting it back into the double helix. The double helix is coherence. So, in synopsis, the sun of our solar system, the stars of the universe, they all are points of origin for scalar energy. Sadly, that scalar energy is not maintained, and most of the universe today is filled with the electromagnetic spectrum to the point where decay and death are assured. Entropy is the norm throughout most of the universe. However, I have to underscore this. In the center of our sun, of our solar system, as well as the center of any star, you have perpetual light, you have scalar light. There is no death or decay. At the very center point of every star in the universe, you have perpetual life. You have that perfect scalar energy dimension.
This is a favorite topic of mine, DNA. So my theory for a long time, Tom, has been that scientists call our untapped potential of junk DNA. Now, my theory is that if we can tap into this scalar energy, then that is what will unzip our DNA so that we can reach our potential.
Yes, thank you. I really don't like that term, junk DNA. I really think I don't think it's appropriate, and in many ways it just highlights the ignorance today around the world. Everything is God's design. DNA is a masterpiece. What is DNA? Well, in and of itself, DNA is a standing scalar wave. Scalar energy, once again, is that double helix. Well, it's no surprise that DNA is likewise a double helix. And the PHI, the golden mean that we see incorporated in scalar energy, is indeed incorporated in all DNA. What's my point? Scalar energy is the cause of all DNA. In order to arrive at DNA, it is scalar energy. It is that, once again, that fundament of the universe that is the cause of all DNA, and that not only assembles DNA, but maintains DNA. So many people call scalar energy the life force of the universe. They're absolutely correct in that appellation. It is indeed the life force of the universe, to the point that one of its features is that scalar energy is responsible for all DNA. If you cut off the scalar energy in the universe, our DNA would fall apart. We would no longer have any biological life. So my point is this. This is the missing component, if you will, and many biologists eventually will attend to this consideration, to this theory. Scalar energy is the overarching means, the guiding principle, if you will, behind all DNA. Hence, all genetic life owes itself to this intelligence from God. Everything has a set of instructions. They are scalar energy instructions. So, in a broad concept, scalar energy is that controlling essence. It is that intelligence behind all physical forms, including DNA. Hence, we look at our DNA today and we say, really, it's a masterpiece, and only God could do that. Look at the human genome. It's 3.5 billion base pairs. What maintains that? For the most part, with the exception of mutation from environmental factors, how is it that we get 3.5 billion base pairs to assemble and maintain in the human genome? It's only done by way of intelligence, this divine intelligence, scalar energy. Finally, we understand the universe, including biological processes. Finally, biologists will finally understand that Darwinian evolution is passé, and it's really pseudoscience. It is scalar energy that's responsible for all biological life forms.
Absolutely.
Scalar energy is the driving force. Scalar energy is the cause behind all activity in the universe. And sadly, we've missed it. In other words, we've missed the universe, Graham.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about to change all of that, Tom. And
yes, we are.
I think I'm conscious of the time, and I think we need to wind this up now. Is there one final insight that you want to share before we wind this up?
I would encourage everybody to embrace scalar energy. You already are experts. I mean that. Everybody is an expert in scalar energy. You might not realize that. Why? Well, everybody has a soul. So you're a spiritual being with a scalar energy counterpart, which is your soul, which is always with you. Everybody thinks. Everybody's capable of memory. Well, you're constantly exercising scalar energy when you think. Everybody has brain waves. Everybody has a heartbeat. Everybody has emotion. Your heart, again, is probably the most perfect scalar energy example that I can afford, with the exception of the sun or the stars. And then last, everybody's composed of flesh and bones and organs and blood. All of that is called into existence by scalar energy. Your very DNA is made possible by scalar energy instructions. So all of you are scalar energy experts. You simply don't realize that. Some people have called scalar energy 0-point energy, chi, prana, life force energy. That's all true and accurate. There's two energies in the universe. And everybody's familiar with electricity, but I can guarantee you, all of you are likewise as familiar with scalar energy, but you just don't realize that there's two energies. So embrace this energy. Once we accept this and use this in a broad scale capacity, scalar energy is going to change the world for the better. And you're going to be a part of it.